This is Shelley Craft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're coming to you from the 7th Annual Precious Metals Summit in Beaver Creek, Colorado, 2017. We have with us today on the show Bruce McLeod from Sabina Gold and Silver Corp. It's a publicly traded company. I'm going to give you two symbols. It's SBB on the TSX and SGSVF in the U.S. on the OTC markets. Welcome to SNNLive.
Thanks for having us on the show, Shelley.
It's good to have you. Let's get started with an overview of the company, and then we'll go from there. And please talk to our audience.
Sure. Sabina is a gold explorer. Our assets are located in Nunavut, Canada, and we are an advanced stage development company, and just working through final permitting and getting ready to start construction in the near future.
You know, let's talk about the resource, and let's talk about, what's going on, the land package, et cetera.
Back River is a district. It's an 80-kilometer-long banded iron formation belt. That's the host to our gold resources and reserves. All told, our measured and indicated gold resources are 5.2 million ounces at over 6 grams, with an additional 2 million ounces in inferred for a total of over 7 million ounces of gold resources.
So we're talking about a fairly large land package. But the grade's high.
These are the highest grade undeveloped open pit mines in the world of over 500,000 ounces. So yes, these are very high grade resources.
So where is it specifically located? That's what I want to know.
Well, I like to say southwestern Nunavut because it makes it sound closer to civilization. These are very robust projects, very robust assets, but we are in an infrastructure challenged part of Canada and about 150 kilometers from tidewater. But there have been many that have been there with similar projects and even lesser grades that have been very successful in this part of the world.
When you say this part of the world, this is the gold part of the world. I mean, there's been big gold finds. I mean, let's go into the elephants in the country.
Well, I think the early people up in that part that were successful was the Lupin mine, and I think with John Zagarlik, one of Canada's early pioneers, and he developed a lot of the infrastructure that the Dine mines still use. Agnico Eagle has been extremely successful, and Nunavut is a big part of their production profile and their growth. And TMAC, which operates about 250 kilometers to the north of us, again, an emerging producer, and showing that this is a district and a province or a territory that is going to produce ounces for many years to come.
When do you go online?
Well, we are still yet to make a production decision. We're in the final stage of a permitting. We hope to get a final recommendation from the federal government of Canada before the end of this year, and hope to be able to make a production decision early in 2018.
Are you still doing exploration?
We are doing exploration. And I think one of the things that has given people some new enthusiasm is the last discoveries were made in Back River in 2010. And, we've grown this resource by 5 million ounces since we've acquired it in 2009. But those discoveries were made in 2010, 2011. And it was really infilling of those between now and the end of 2013-14. And really, it's only this spring and this summer that we have started to show that maybe we haven't found the last ounces in Back Rivers.
What's your background?
I'm a mining engineer. I'm a third generation in this business, and I've had 2 jobs in my life: a paper route and being in the mining business.
Well, the McLeod family is a famous name in the industry. Are you part of that family?
Don, which is a patriarch, was my father. Catherine is my sister, and Rob McLeod, who is also here with IDM, which is another good company, is my cousin.
Let me tell you, you mentioned silver.
Yes.
Also, in the name of the company. What do you have going on in silver?
We have the Hackett River Silver Royalty, which is the first 22.5% of the first 190 million ounces that are produced from the Hackett Silver property, and that's owned by Glencore. It's attributable of over 40 million ounces to us, and that is something that I think that the market has largely ignored and just starting to take notice of again today.
Well, I think the price of silver has kept the noticeability less visible.
Well, I think it's not only that. We've seen no capital coming into projects, and projects weren't being moved forward. And when people are not making good investments in this industry, they tend to kind of look at core investments and not look at growth. And what's changed, I think, is now you see an industry that's been starved for growth, and people are really starting to look for where is the next growth coming. And for the developers like Sabina, it puts us in a very enviable position.
Well, I'm going to finish with one question. Why do you think you're in that enviable position? What takes your company and puts you apart from all others?
Well, we have taken an extremely large, very high-grade resource, and all told, spent hundreds of millions of dollars to this stage in de-risking it. We're one of the very few projects that can actually make production and been through the permitting in Canada, one of the safest jurisdictions in the world.
So walk me through the history of not only your involvement, but the whole package.
Well, the Back River deposit was first discovered by Homestake in the 80s, and actually by some prospecting syndicate members. And it's been owned by a number of majors and mid-tiers between the 80s and our acquisition of it in 2009. The issue is that total resource grew from 0 to about 2.2 million ounces. 2.2 million ounces in the Arctic is enough to overcome logistics and infrastructure, but not enough to provide shareholder equity and shareholder returns. In 2009, it was acquired by Sabina, and the Umwelt and the Lama discoveries were what kicked off that additional 5 million ounces of resources. I only joined the company just over 2.5 years ago, and I think that it's one of the most exciting opportunities I've ever been involved with.
Let's get your website out there for more information, if you would.
Sure. www.sabina, S-A-B-I-N-A, goldsilver.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bruce McLeod, Sabina Gold and Silver Corp. Two symbols. One is SBB on the TSX, and the other is SGSVF in the U.S. on the OTC markets. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive, and we're coming to you live from the 7th Annual Precious Metals Summit in Beaver Creek, Colorado, 2017. Bruce, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me on the show, Shelley.
My pleasure.